dream fight got announced, Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, you know. But I think it's gonna get biased, you know. When circus comes to town, do you watch it? Yes. When a car crash, you're driving past it, do you stop and look? Yeah, absolutely. And even though it's bad, right? I mean, you feel guilty, but you do it, right? Well, even if you feel guilty about watching this fight, you're gonna buy it, you know. So
Mayweather's 40 years old though, hasn't fought in 2 years. Could he be slowing down? Is that the X factor?
That's kind of the wild card in all things, you know, because everything else points to the fact that Floyd should dominate the fight. Before Floyd at 40 years old hasn't fought in a couple of years, you know, that's kind of, it does bring an X factor to the fight.
If Floyd does anything to dominate McGregor, is that bad for boxing?
No, I don't think it's bad for boxing. I think it's great in general for mixed martial arts, but I don't think it's bad for boxing. Floyd's 40 years old. I mean, but do I expect Floyd to pretty much dominate? Yeah, I probably do. But I don't think it's bad if a fight is competitive. As a matter of fact, I think it will be great for both sports at the end of the day. Probably better for mixed martial arts, probably great for both sports because maybe you can even get a second fight out of it. But I'd be hard-pressed to predict that.
Is Floyd going to stop?
I think so, yeah. I feel like I think it's going to get a lot of buys. I think it's going to be comparable to Pacquiao pay-per-view. You know, I don't know if it's going to pass it, but it'll be close.
Does it hurt the Golovkin Canelo pay-per-view a lot, you think?
I think it does, yeah. I think it does. I don't think it was by chance that Floyd announced it the week of a big HBO fight, and then he's fighting it a few weeks before another big HBO pay-per-view. You know, I think also there's some of the thought process going into that as well.
Why did the public want this fight so bad?
It's interesting, you know. There's a curiosity about it. And anytime there's a curiosity about it, you want that curiosity to be satisfied. I think the public now has what they wanted. I think there's a lot of people in the mixed martial arts world that actually think, well, Conor can win the fight. As ridiculous as boxing fans might think it is, they'll watch the fight because it's a spectacle. So I think everybody has their reasoning to watch it. At the end of the day, this spectacle will be watched.
Is the boxing world being too salty, bitter? Is there something we don't see here?
Come on, man. I mean, the boxing fans are the weirdest fans in the world. You know what I mean? They get unhappy about anything. They get a good fight and they aren't happy about it. You know what I mean? So I don't think a niche market being salty is going to really affect the fight, because at the end of the day, boxing is a niche market, especially in America. So I think a niche market being salty and still buying the pay-per-view anyway, I don't think it's going to affect anything.
Any disappointment that he didn't take the fight with you first?
Yeah, of course. but you know, if Conor would have fought anybody else with Floyd, he would have probably been exposed as a lesser boxer than people think he is, and then he wouldn't have got the Floyd fight. So I think this was probably the best strategic move for everybody involved.
Paulie, in all honesty, would you be able to hurt McGregor? You're not known as the biggest puncher, but
I don't think it's about hurting him. I think it's about when you're so much better than somebody, you're walking them down, beating them up. It probably, you know, it leads to bad things happening. You know, so you know, being stuck in the ring with 36 minutes with a guy who you can't compete with is not fun. You know, it's not a good feeling. You know, it's not a 30-second ass kicking. It's a bad ass whoop. The ass whoop becomes bad. So punches are punches at the end of the day, and they end up becoming that. And I got to get back to my Sky team.